Merry Christmas, everyone. And to all who are watching this live, well, thanks for being your support and avoiding probably your family. They'll go watch something better. But it's definitely not us, though. It's crazy. Uh, gonna do a little spur of the moment, thing. Here, I'm joined by Geeky. Greg Breen was supposed to be here, or he said maybe. So I'm guessing the maybe of his part is that he's not showing up.
Well, he could just be lurking, but just off camera. Completely off camera.
Oh no, I can tell. I can see everybody who's behind it when I put him guys behind.
No, I mean normally he's got it like this, but he's not even bothering to turn his camera on and come in.
Yeah. Like I said, everybody who some people don't have plans for the holidays. They get or they spend it in the morning, or they go later in the afternoon. That's what I'm doing. I'm going with my sisters. We're all meeting around 4 o'clock. So I have about 2 hours to get through that stuff. I have about 14 new issues. Plus I have a bunch of back issues that I picked up. Plus and then some back issues I got in, or not that I got in from my E's auction over I Love Comics. And then Geeky's got some books to show too as well, or talk about some books.
I just ordered a couple of some run of Batman that on eBay that I found out about. So
actually, I lied. I don't have 14. I have 11 new books. All right, might as well get through that. And if you're watching on YouTube and you're like, why is there 2 streams? Because StreamYard allows me to do a vertical, which is basically the horizontal, up and down. Vertical, for those who don't know the difference between horizontal is this back and forth. Horizontal is the normal. That's the normal layout. Vertical layout is for your phone. And let me look here. I don't know. Make sure I'm on the right one. I'm just gonna show you on my phone. So on your phone. On your phone, this is the normal one. On your piece, it's the horizontal on my phone. Now I switch over, and I go to, I believe it's this one. Yes, this is this is the modern one. This is what it looks like through our vertical layout, and
yeah, because that's what mine looks like right now. So
yeah, and you'll still get chat if you want to look down, yeah, but you'll notice, this is what it looks like if you don't zoom in on the phone. So it looks like that. But I noticed that I did a test stream on top of the top 5 with this, and I noticed that I got almost 90 views on the top view vertical stream that I did normal. So I'm curious. I'm going to try it again with this. We're trying now again to see if I get, a similar amount of views. Because I do know that YouTube is pushing a lot of when it comes to the mobile stuff versus basically the short videos versus the long format. But if this is the key to still do a long format video, but in the top, like the vertical, hey, I'm all for it. I mean, I'm not going to stop with the long format, but I mean, I might just do top format and then upload it in the normal format later on that day, so you can watch it, in the normal view. But
double your pleasure, man.
Right? Because right now it says we have 10 people watching right now, which is kind of cool. Because normally we only have 2 or 3. So those who are new here, basically just showing off the books I got this week, plus some back issues. So, and I'm going to go over them. So there will be spoilers for this week's new comic books. Now, I can tell you, I'm not the best thing. I'm not a huge channel, so I don't like the best explaining things. So there'll be a lot of uhs like that. If you can't handle that, I'm sorry. You can even turn it into a drinking game if you want to. Take a shot of eggnog every time I go, yeah, sure. So I'm very human. I don't edit my stuff, Yeah. I don't like that when people, you watch a video and you cannot But it comes off very robotic. There's not really human aspect to it. Plus, I like interacting. So if you are in the chat, I will see your chat and I will interact with you, as long as you're rude. Or as long as you're not rude, just be kind. But speaking of, and I'll turn the chat on for this too, so you guys can see it on the actual screen there. There you go.
It looks like that one he's on a different thing than I am, because that's not showing up on my phone.
No, I think he's on the normal one right now. He's on the normal layout, the horizontal. That's why. Streamer does. We're going through Streamer. Streamer does show the normal layout, but yeah, they're pushing cars because it's cheaper. Yep. Think when the drinking game is usually how many times he mentions Lizzo. There you go. There's your shot right there. Take a big giant shot. And hey, man, thanks, man. I hope your channel gets bigger. I'm more so. I'm not really in it for the views count, really, or even like the money aspect. Even though we are monetized, I just like coming on here and just hanging out with people and just talking.
And it's also it's quality, and it's also to push the product, not the channel.
And I will point out that I am friends with like conservatives and people who are more center left. So I don't care what your politics are. I'm just here talking about comic books. As long as you can be respectful, that's fine. That's all it is. Just be human. Don't start fights unless it's like like a food fight. But anyway, all right. The number 11 for this week. The new books came out this week, and let me do this here, and you guys can see the book. There you go.
Woohoo!
All right.
Double Vinkman.
Yes. I gotta remember it because I'm on the vertical, so I gotta make sure I can move it over so you can see it. All right. So Keeps is being re-released through Image Comics and Skybound. Robert Kirkman's book that he wrote back in the day. And the dialogue is changed on this, but the art is very much updated. This is part of the Invincible universe. So if you've not gone back and read this, or maybe you have, you said, oh, the art was horrendous in the inside. This is a much more updated art. Of course, on the cover, this is Ryan Otley, so don't be fooled. This is Ryan Otley on the cover. The interior is done by Mart Engelhart. And I say the art is about the same, maybe a little better or worse. Depends on what you prefer. And thanks for the subscription, dude. We're also live on Twitch as well. I do stream there too. But we are a YouTube channel when it comes to comic books and stuff, and we also do comic book readings on the weekends. So you get a lot of fun stuff here. But
they go off into wrestling tangents as well.
So I didn't really get a chance to read through this. I read through the first issue, and I was comparing it early this morning, and compared to the original. And yeah, it's a much more needed upgrade in art. These are basically like the Avengers. That's what this book is kind of like. They're doing here. And there's a kid Thor who pretty much his grandfather was like a blacksmith that Odin had him request him to make a new Mjolnir for Thor when Thor lost Mjolnir. So he made a new one. But what they said later on when they recovered Mjolnir, the Thor came and plastered hammer back down to this kid's grandfather. And so and let him keep the hammer. So basically anybody who is in his family who can wield the hammer and has the power of of Thor. Let me show the actual kid here. They show him here. Yeah, kid Thor. Guy in the blonde. And he wears like a Rocketeer jacket. Of course, we have a guy who looks kind of like Jameson here too. It's a love letter to comic books. So if you know Kirkman, that's what Kirkman does.
J. Jonah Jameson's little side gig as a superhero.
And we even have an Iron Man character. And there's her name's Knockout, and she has knockers. They'll knock you out. They did not hold back then. She's very busty, and she's kind of like Miss Marvel in a way. I don't know if that was supposed to be the joke, but So one of the ongoing gags I have in here is that Kid Thor is like immediately smitten by her, and he basically he starts flirting with her and wants to ask her for dinner. So she's gonna go get changed, and they're gonna go have dinner. And then the other guy, who based the trying to remember what his name is, and can't remember what his name is in here, but this guy in the beginning here. Apparently he was talking to Kid Thor and about how he got his powers. He said he got struck by lightning. So I think he's called like thunder or something like that. No, or something like lightning, something like that. And he's no, it's Bolt. Sorry, Bolt. Duh, it's been a while. So Bolt pretty much he said he got his powers when lightning struck him, and they're talking about well because this was written like right around the early 2000s. So Blade 2 was coming out, and or even Blade 3 possibly, the one everyone tries to forget. And they're making a joke in the first issue about he's like, well, why did you settle on Bolt? And he's like, well, he's like, why didn't you like didn't Blade just come out and stuff? Why don't you like give yourself a cool name? And he's like, well, Lightning was already taken, and I didn't want to call myself like I think he said even dropped Marvel one of the names, but overall, as I said, it is a fun series. It is a team book, and I do recommend that you check this out. I guarantee these characters, if they haven't already shown up, they will be showing up in the Invincible TV series, the animated series that's on Amazon Prime, which I think comes back this fall for the 3rd season, I think, or then a 4, I can't remember. But all right. All right, number 10 for this week. Picked it up because, well, I like Tony Fleeks, and then guy writer of Stray Dogs and current artist or writer for Feral, and you got Tim Seeley on here. So we also have Nick Bradshaw and I think her name's Rachel Rosenberg. But basically, this is what you're getting here. You're getting another swimsuit special. Loosely basically go. So Roxanne decided to basically transform or terraform, basically what's it called, the Savage Land, turn it into a Winter Wonderland. So Rogue don't want to let this happen. They even make a callback, where her and Jeremy talk about her outfit, and he's like, yeah, I got a picture of your outfit when you were trapped in the Savage Land, which I don't know how that's even possible. Because but then again, this is an updated modern version, so apparently they had cell phones back in the day, when and somehow he got a photo of her for tongue in cheek. But they call their friends, and they come to a portal, and even introduce a lot of characters like the new Gwenpool, who apparently nobody knows is Gwenpool. They just think he's a girl who takes photos, and because it's a swimsuit issue, they gotta have someone there to take photos. And Vanadine basically supplies them with some winter outfits for them to wear. But a big old dinosaur comes in. Here's the outfits right there. And dinosaur comes in and destroys their clothes. So now they're all pretty much like gonna be Savage Land stuff, outfits. And then we go throughout the book, because they tie it in. Gwenpool is taking photos, so she took some photos. We get some pinups. Right there is like actually the best pinup in the whole entire book. So Tim Seeley's and Edgar Delgado for figure. And we also get some other covers pinups right here too. Black Panther and Storm.
I like that She-Hulk one.
She-Hulk right here. That's Joe Quinos. Sorry, I keep forgetting I'm on the vertical, so you guys can't see it. Yeah. And then of course we got Will Pertatio and Chris Sotomayor come back. And, for those who are watching here, you can see it on the vertical. So it's really cool art on this. All right. And then, it's basically a lot of hijinks. Everyone's like, hey, Johnny, because since you're on the flame, can you stand around and help keep everybody warm? And Deadpool makes a joke about, hey, I don't have to wear pants. Cool. I can Donald Duck it. Of course, their powers are being jammed by Sauron, because he's always the evil dick on the Savage Land. And, and Dr. Stegman's also there, too. And we get some humor hijinks. Basically, Captain America's freezing, and Wolverine says that's because you're used to being on a block of ice, so that's why your body's going to shut down. You're not used to it. And so he's like, hey, can I use your head? Sure. And he throws his shield, bounces it off of Wolverine to take out, so it bounces everybody else. I thought that was kind of funny for humor. But like I said, this is really written on a character. But then again, I admit this might be the current character kind of like portrayal of characters, because I don't really read current Marvel. I do like very few. I don't really read the Jen McKay Avengers. I don't read Fantastic Four. I don't read Spider-Man or Gwenpool. Yeah, somewhere the cell phone stream does not work well. It looks a little look tiny. That's why it's better on your phone. That way you don't have to worry about, it's basically meant to be like this on your phone, a vertical live stream. Which is weird they even offer this as a layout feature. You can do that. When you basically have, what's it called? The normal screen. The normal horizontal is actually better for your phone, because if you have an iPhone or an Android or smartphone, you can just turn your phone on the side and the screen actually gets bigger. So, yeah. But, all right. So, So then she reveals that she's Gwenpool here. And she brought, hey, look, it's Jeff the Shark. Which I gotta admit, I'm not a fan of Jeff the Shark. I think he's stupid, but apparently he is selling like hotcakes when it comes to Marvel stuffed animals, and just, people like it. So we get some more pinups. Very skinny Namor, but I'm not sure why. Honestly, they went that direction. Namor is not a boy. He looks like he's like 15 there. Of course, for the girls, we got the beefcake.
The only thing he looks like in that one.
We're not going there. Hot tub, beefcake. Yeah, I gotta say this. It is very flamboyant. It's a flame joke. But I'm glad Johnny doesn't have a stupid mustache like he does in the current comic books. And then we get to Kari Andrews. I gotta turn the book like this for the pinup. So for those who are, all right, hold on. For horizontal, so that's what it looks like. And I'm not really a fan of what Kari Andrews do to her face. She has no nose. I think it looks horrible. And this is the first time I've ever held a comic book or any magazine like this on the side. For you guys closer to Jeff's age, you probably have turned your magazines on the side and let the picture fall out. So, and then we get some more pinups here. This is Ken Lashley and Edgar Delgado again. And it's supposed to be Daredevil, I guess, and She-Hulk, but not She-Hulk.
Yeah, that doesn't look. I don't know who that is.
They might be. They didn't really say though. They said if it's not, it might be Jen. What do I think it is? I think it's Jen. It's Jennifer when she's not She-Hulk. She does revert back. Of course, we got Ghost Rider on the dinosaur. And we have the snowman. We're running like crazy away from him as he's killing him. So that was kind of funny. That's probably my favorite one. That is Justin Mason and Edgar Delgado. Edgar Delgado is doing a lot of the art on here for the pinups. All right. So everybody's freezing on here, and eventually they do win the day. We get this. They get some sweaters on. So now here comes the ugly sweaters, which I don't mind. The story is pretty weak sauce. The main villain turns out to be, well, he can turn himself into a giant bull. He becomes Krampus for Roxanne. Thing is, you have to select request mobile site and in the iPhone, and the screen goes full. Super cute, super Q. I mean quick. Yes, for the iPhone, you actually have to click on the actual plus thing. I'm not sure how it was in the Android, but mine goes right to it, or show the comments first or chat, and I just hide chat. And I leave it vertical. But yeah, so we get a little battle here, and we get to see Gambit and Rogue kind of like teaming up. Gambit is in his ugly sweater, throwing snowballs that are charged, and this Rogue comes out and helps save the day. Like I said, not the strongest, storyline, but it's okay. The pinups, we get the Barbie pinup, or Barbie, or basically the Steve looks like he's basically from the Barbie Marvel comic books. Of course, we have Black Widow and Bucky enjoying some wine in the hot tub. And of course, we get Captain Marvel. I still call her Miss Marvel. And then we have Spider-Woman in their outfits. And then we get, this was weird. I was like, why? Everything else is a pinup swimsuit. Why is Elektra in her own costume? And I was shocked, too, that she's actually in her original costume. She's not in the, what's it called? The Daredevil outfit that she's been wearing for a long time. And then they remembered, hey, Daken is a thing. Wolverine's son. So they gave him his little thing. Pin up here. And then, of course, we get the Black Cat and Spider-Man on Savage Land. Surrounded by some, like, stockies I have. That's the cat, Black Cat on there, and his Spidey on there. So, yeah. And then the final pinup is Kazar and his girlfriend. I want to say Shira, but I don't think that's it. Can't remember what her name is. All right, so then there's big stuff in the back here. If you want to read the letters and stuff, information about this. You put writing in. It's like 2 or 3 pages. Then they're advertising for Planet of the Apes versus Fantastic Four, which I really don't have any interest in that. Now, some of you might have it. I don't. Wolverine Weapons of Armageddon is advertised in the back. That's the new event. And it looks like we have Wolverine versus Nuclear. Or we can't remember what his name was. The guy, he's actually the guy, it's the bad guy from Born Again. He fought Captain America with Daredevil. So it is She-Ra. Okay. I don't want to say that because I thought She-Ra was like He-Man.
She-Ra is He-Man.
So then who is the girl then that's in the Kazar?
I don't know.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. All right, number 9. Godzilla. Back along with Kong. Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. Number 2. Overall, it's very heavy action packed here. A lot of stupid writing though. I don't know why we need this, but we have Wally and Barry. Wally's making excuse for his Uncle Barry's late. For some reason, Iris does not, or Barry has not confessed to Iris that they just newly got married. They're supposed to go on their honeymoon, and that he didn't tell her, oh, I'm the Flash. So I was like, I don't care about this. Why is this in here? So then Barry shows up after Wally tries to make an excuse for him, and then she's like, oh, she's like, yeah, I know you're the Flash. It's like, you two are not the most subtle when it comes to keeping secrets. And I'm like, okay. It just felt like it was a needless interaction. But, yeah, if you are a fan of the show Monarch, and it's on Apple TV, it is pretty much like that. They have the whole crew from there, from Monarch in this, or at least some of the cast. But overall, they're trying to figure out what this guy's plan is. The guy killed Waller in the second issue. Yeah. Rick Stanton is mentioned. He's from Monarch. I'm not sure if he's from the show, but that's one of the names they pop in here too. And they know that these Titans are waking up, and because Ghidorah and Rodan are pretty much rallying all the monsters to come and help out. So meanwhile, Kong is headed for this where Lex Luthor is, along with the guy who killed who's on charge. Yeah. Forget what his name is, but it's supposed to be here, but it's this dude. You'll see him here. And Lex is pretty much dissing him. Because and they want to, this guy he's very anti unlike Waller, he doesn't see the need for superheroes or supervillains. He thinks he can just use the Titan program and he can just override that. We get this cool team up though in the book, between where Hal Jordan is basically water skiing. He's letting the Flash pull him, and I love how pretty much while he's like, it's like one question though, is like, are you sure Barry lets you draft behind him like this? He's like, all the time, kid. He's like, you're lying to me. He's like, maybe. So they get a little interaction. It's revealed that they use the Titan formula on Cheetah, so she ends up going battling against King Kong. So, and it's Wonder Woman tries to reason her, and Lex Luthor's like, you do realize that she was barely human before this. She was more animal than human. Now there's no chance of reaching her. But then, as the fight continues to rage on, something else happens. So they notice that Rodan is leaving, is perched, and basically Godzilla is still knocked out. When Aquaman went to go basically try to revive him, help him out, because it's revealed that, as Batman figured out, that in this universe, this is before they met the events of the first Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. This is earlier in their world, in that timeline. So as the two are basically having a fight, she noticed something going on, and she's basically, because she's a Titan now, she is now under the thrall of Ghidorah. So all the monsters are going back, and they're going to rally around Ghidorah, who is over somewhere in the South Pacific or something, and basically creating like a hurricane. The mask where I don't know why he's doing that, but he's calling on the monsters to himself. The bad guy is like, hey, you better fall in line. And he's like, no. Black Manta says, fuck you, and just kills him. After the guy threatens to blow his head up with a bomb, he just stabs him, kills him, and he's like, should have done that a while ago. So I'm like, the big bad guy wasn't even really a big bad guy. He was just a joke. So, and they got familiar creatures for the movie. They're now attacking. They're from the underworld part, or under Earth, or inner Earth, what do you call it? And they're going to attack Godzilla. And it's just so Green Martian, or Martian Manhunter, morphs into a giant dragon. You'll see him on the next page. To take on Rodan. So they leads off with this. You're going to have giant Martian Manhunter as a dragon versus Ghidorah and stuff, because he can't go against Rodan because Rodan is pretty much the kaiju that breathes fire, so, and he's vulnerable to that, so he's going against Ghidorah. This John is Shauna the Shield. That's Shauna. That's what it was. Yeah. What type of kaiju would you be? I not really would want to be one. You're kind of like, they showed, like, the reason I wouldn't want to, because when they showed Superman become a Titan, use Titan formula, he just became a Neanderthal. He couldn't speak, and it was just like, he was like Bizarro. He was stupider than Bizarro, Superman. It was just caveman speak, and I'm like, I don't want that. and also you're Titan size, so that's kind of I wouldn't want to be that large. You're stuck with the same outfit if your outfit holds up. You're hoping that you have a unstable molecules. Otherwise, you're just walking around naked like the Tech and Titans, and no one wants to see that. Not even myself. All right, number 8 is Void Rivals, and Void Rivals has been getting interesting now because we're bringing in the quintessence, or that's what they're called. The snake, the tribunal, basically like guys. They have this octopus squid dudes. And I forget. I apologize. I don't know their names offhand because I don't really care about the character, and they haven't been in the issues probably like 2 or 3 issues maybe. But the people on basically on Zertonia just got done with a war, fighting each other, and they basically were creating the event of Unity, which almost released the monster that was trapped in there by one of the Transformers back in the day. They left her in. She had trapped the monster Goliath or Gigant, whatever it is, inside this the ring, which is a black hole, which they're basically their 2 countries are built on this ring that goes around it. And by them being together, we released the monster. We saw a giant hand come out, but that's about it. But we've seen in the flashbacks, the first issues of this, where the monster was and what it looked like. And so now we get some wrapping up conclusions from other previous storylines. People who are betrayed are now attacking one another. Art is pretty. A lot of action. I said Kirkman is known for having a lot of action in his books. I don't want to spoil too much on this. So if you're not reading this book, you should be picking it up. It is very heavily tied into the G.I. Joe Transformers right now. We even had Hot Rod was in here for the movie, the one that Judd Nelson voiced in the 80s animated movie was in there too. We had Jetfire, who's showed up in Transformers. So the whole world is tied together. So I said this is probably the weaker of the G.I. Joe Transformers, basically world. But I do like the fact it's an outer space cosmic kind of story. And so basically we get some the aliens that are now attacking. They're basically their planets and drilling into it. And then of course I said I love the art. This is Andre Bresson doing the art with Patricio DePelce I think might be doing the lettering or might be doing the coloring. Coloring is Patricio and depict Piche. I know I'm probably butchering the name, but Android is reunited finally with his owner, and I apologize because I can't remember their names because they have these really kind of weird names. And yeah, I think it's Solia and Derek or Solia. But there is a new character first appearance. Not saying this will be a key issue or even a minor key, but Derek's father, he has a brother, and they've now seen. So that's introduction to him. Didn't really much have impact on the story. I don't know why they brought him in, but basically because there's something is coming towards the planet. Derek and his buddies are sent out on their ships again, and they make the joke that Derek is not a great pilot. That it's actually the android flying it, the plane, and one of his buddy gets taken out back in the lower levels of Zertinia Temple of Zerta's Light. Yeah. Your name's Salia is contacted once again to be the herald, get power, and just basically wants to redeem herself because she recognizes the threat that's going on, and it's they need to bring back unity again because they need to release that monster in order to save Cybertron and stuff. It's just, yeah. But anyway, like I said, I'm kind of rambling on this book. It's an okay book. This was kind of a weak issue for me. This is issue number 25. If you're wondering the price, it's $3.99 for this book. And I understand why some of you guys might not be picking up individual issues because it is expensive. I'm not gonna lie. $4 for a book, and then now multiply that by 12 other books you may see that you like, and you want to read all of them, but you don't have enough cash. And especially those who may be watching who are like still in high school, or you're in between jobs. It's comic books collecting it's for the rich. That's what I recommend. If you do get books, collect them through the trades, and then go to In Stock Trades, which is online, and you can get a 40% discount plus free shipping over like books are worth like $50 or more.
50, yeah.
Yeah. And so and you get they have sometimes they have a lot of really cool books which are usually like $125 or like they're down to like $75 or even less sometimes. And then they also do sell damaged books, which I don't understand. I don't know what kind of damage it is, if it's a ding corner of the hardcover or softcover, or is it just completely folded,
I got one that was a damaged one, so it was just this tiny little thing on the right upper corner. It was just this tiny little thing. It's like you had to look to see what it was.
And so I've been tempted to get the damaged ones, but I'm like, how bad is the damage? Because like, not where it's just the cover is almost attached on a hardcover, where the glue comes out in the binding. Because I've seen that before too. Like, well, I want to know if that's the case. I'll just glue it back on. But I want to know before I spend money on it.
Well, some people are really picky, so it might be just this tiny little thing, and that's what you're risking is big damage or tiny.
I don't care. The corners can be bent up on this. I don't care because I don't think these are actually worthy of resell for high value. Now you're like, well, what if the character's in a movie? Okay, well, it's usually the first appearance of the character that goes up. If the character's introduced into a movie, especially like Weasel was, his first appearance skyrocketed. But as soon as the buzz died on for Suicide Squad, it dropped back down to $1. Now it might be back up again. I don't know. I haven't checked it in a while. But this is my number 7 of the week, Justice League Red, where the Red Tornado has been basically put together a team because he has been having these visions of the world ending, and so he sent them to go after Black Adam and stop Black Adam because he said Black Adam's going to basically cause apocalypse to happen on Earth. He's gonna do the ritual that he's gonna gather his power by killing off other planets and then siphon their power. And they said thousands of millions are gonna die, blah blah. But instead, he basically kicks their ass. He has a kryptonite sword, and pretty says like, you ever think they stop to think that maybe you guys are just idiots and being used? Because I have no desire to do what Red Tornado is telling you to. And he basically lets them know what we've all been thinking along. Because this is, like I said, this is issue 5, that Red Tornado is not even basically who he says he is. He's been compromised. He said, for those who have been following along with the book, Red Tornado is he's discarded his body. He's now in digital format. So, and usually what happens when you're digital format, you lose your soul and you become Skynet. But, of course. Deadman decides he's going to try and do a sneak attack and possess him. And like I say, that's probably one of my biggest features I love about this is that Deadman is on the team. Because Deadman is like normally here or there, just kind of he's like an afterthought when it comes to DC. But I love the fact that they brought him in this. Now this is Solid and Ahmed doing the script, Clayton Henry on the art, and you can see the rest on there for the colors. Sorry, those are. Like I said, I'm still liking this, man. Justice League Unlimited. This is an extension, Justice League Red, and basically Black Adam just swats him. His eyes like, dude, you really think your powers will work on me? You possess me? He's like, get off of my soul, your filthy hands, and just toss him. And everyone's surprised on the team's like, dude, he can actually talk. Well, Turns out Deadman is used to no one seeing him, but Red Tornado did something, allowed people to basically to see Russell, not Russell Brand, not to say Russell Brand, Boston Brand. So he's kind of like getting used to talking, because usually no one talks to him, because he's always, he has to possess someone in order to interact with people. That's always been the DC go. But now he can actually, people can physically see him and touch him. And so Power Girl, obviously drawn really well in here. I said, Clayton Henry, I look Clayton Henry arts. It looks cartoonish in some sense, but it's okay. I like it. It's decent. And no one really wants to trust basically Black Adam, because Black Adam's a villain, blah, blah, blah. We get the speech now, but then he basically says, dude, I've been spying on everybody. I think you guys been doing is I've been keeping track because I don't trust Red Tornado. And he says, well, how do you, first of all, he goes up to Simon Baz. He's like, dude, you weren't even supposed to be coming up join the team. Your brother, you're gonna check on him because your brother was getting out of I think it was rehab or basically out of prison, and then your brother was basically in the middle of the night arrested by sheriffs. And who do you think caused him to have changed? Who could access the files and make it so your brother goes back to prison? Of course, Red Tornado. And he says, when it comes to Cyborg, he's like, it's like, dude, Cyborg, you're yelling at me. You're the one that stole a security device chip, from a company for Red Tornado. He lied to you. You've all been lied to. You just don't know it. Russell Band pops up and starts like, I don't know, what should we do? And he's like, and I love how Power Girl's like, what the heck? Because for the most part, he's kind of quiet. He don't really talk to you. She's like, when did you start talking? Why the heck are you calling me boss? Oh, he's like, I didn't want to, give you Muggs the silent treatment, but just getting used to being able to talk with a month again. And I'm calling you boss because it feels like it. So Power Girl decides to lead the team back. They're going to confront Red Tornado. And yeah, pretty much they go to show up to where Red Tornado is, but then they're approached by these like creatures here. Constructs or something like that. Pop up, start attacking them. Like I said, I go the fact that they remember that Power Girl is not Supergirl in these issues. They drew it properly. And let me give you the next page here. And some nice action shots. So Clayton Henry is a really good artist. I like him on this series. Saladin Ahmed, not really a big fan of his writing. I didn't care for his Daredevil. I thought it sucked. But at the end of this, they are for So you have the Crimson Cloud is what Red Tornado's become, and the next issue is going to be Red Tornado versus the Justice League Red. This was let's see here. Look for the price on this. $4, $3.99. Number 6 this week is Spider-Man 9194, or Spider-Man issue, or not 94, but Spider-Man 94 issue number 4. Yeah. Based on the animated series, Kraven Hunter comes to the rescue of Spider-Man, who basically was being held prisoner by Morlun, who basically wants to kind of feed on Peter Parker because he's like the main totem. In the classic animated sense, if you never watched the 1994 cartoon series, you might be a little confused by this. But when I read this, Kingpin is not Vincent D'Onofrio from the Netflix. I have the voice in my head from the animated series, and just the villain being a villain, he's immortal. He's able to change his form from Nathaniel Sims, and again he can transfer back right into Morlun. But yeah, like I said, this is actually a really well done one, and the way they draw it is based on the animated series. So Kraven has his animated outfit he wears. So we even get a mention of his wife, who actually was in the cartoon series, was she was forced to take the serum to save her life, but then it started to basically mess with her. So Spider-Man risked his life along with Black Cat to give her the serum, but unfortunately, she ends up dying because her body just can't. The disease was just too much for him, and the acceleration from the serum that they tried to cure her from that she took wasn't that great. But she said what she did. One thing she said before he left, she was working on a cure for Sergey, so that way to keep him from dying the way she was going to die, and he's basically Sergey decided, the last thing he's like, well, I'm going to die anyway, so he took the serum again that turned him into Kraven the Hunter, like he did in the cartoon series, and he was going to go on last hunt, and decided to basically hunt a man named Nathaniel Sims, basically who's Ezekiel Sims. Ezekiel, that's what his name is. And he had learned rumors that this guy was immortal, so he said, look, well, what better way to basically go up against a mortal? And if I'm going to die, I'm going to fight somebody that's actually worthy. So Kraven and Spider-Man are being, they have these other totems that were created by Ezekiel Sims, Merlin, so he could feed on them. They were temporary creatures. And meanwhile, we got Kane, who showed up by Mary Jane's, or basically Aunt May's house, because that's where Mary Jane and Peter have been staying. And he confronts her, and then he gets his memories unlocked about all the tests and all the clones that Moreland keeps. His father kept making him and then killing him, making him. So now, at the behest of Mary Jane, he's going to go save Peter. So not the best art when it comes to like their faces, I admit. But I'm just happy for what it is. This is John DeMatteis, and I believe it's Jim Tao, with color artist Jim Campbell and Joe Caramanga doing the lettering. But yep. So basically, Spider-Man at this point he's at the point where he's at his wit's end. He does not have the strength left to fight. Kraven helps him out, protects him, and then Spider-Man realizes, hey, that's what's causing him to go crazy. There's a little like device up there sending out pulses. It's driving his spider sense crazy. So he yanks it off, and then he tells Kraven, hey, pull back. They're not attacking anymore. And Kraven thanks him because he says, there's no honor in killing something that's not going to want to fight you. But of course, Ezekiel Sim shows up and kills them all with his giant cable gun. That's what I'm going to call it, because it looks like a gun that Cable would have. And yeah, so he sends this tiger or lion to go against Moreland, but then Moreland he's going to start. He said he's basically luring Kraven in. He's like, good, I need a snack. I'm going to eat your lion, his life force. Kraven runs in, stabs him, Moreland in through the chest. Moreland reveals that I knew you were watching me. I allowed you to stalk me. And it seems like Kraven's about to be killed himself, absorbed. Kane shows up and says, nope, fuck you. Punches Moreland and pretty much gives his life. Just trying to stop Moreland, but it's not. But Moreland realizes, it's just too much for him. Let's see right here. And he turns him into this muck slime. Yeah. But then the slime starts to bubble, and they're like, what the heck? And now he's some kind of like monster. That's the next issue. You're going to have Moreland versus like this creation. Because he's made from not only from Spider-Man's DNA, but he's also made from Moreland's DNA. So that's the issue for this. Spray him with your white goose spider. What? Not the webbing. Yeah. What's up, Josh? Overall, he said I like the 1940 series, animated series, more than the Josh Keaton, what was that? Spectacular Spider-Man. Now, if you like the other one, that's cool. But honestly, this is the one I grew up with. This is the one I watched first before I got into comic books. So, been liking that. Top 5 for this week. Showing off this week, we got number 5 is going to be Rockefeller. Rockefellers. Where I left off is basically their sister was their aunt was basically trying to murder them and get Roland back because she wants to basically because Roland had saved his sister and her fiance from death, but it left them in a horrific kind of scientific state. She's half android, and her husband is like in some kind of like jelly. So he looks. Let me show if I can find a picture. What it looks like. Yeah, this is what her husband looks like. He's a skeleton inside this pink goo attached to a chair. So, a lot of hijinks in this. This is let me see it. I think this is Pierre J. Tomasi and Francis Manipul on the art here. So you get a lot of these 2-page spreads here. So they're out in the middle of the desert. The Trinity test site, Jornada del Muerto Desert, El Morgado, New Mexico, and Roland decides he's going to basically go back with his sister to spare his family because at this point they can't really leave because she won't. Yeah, they're defeated. But it is crazy though that Ray is able to basically connect with her aunt and reach her humanity side. But of course, as she's doing this, the brother comes up and ruins everything, and basically decide he's got his little device he's been working on. And in his spare time, he built a suit and basically uppercuts his aunt and just causes a big mess. And then basically restores her back to her senses. And this leads them to a gas station as they hitch a ride on his mech suit. And they're out of fuel. That's what he says. They basically decide to steal this guy's truck. Poor gas station attendants in the middle of nowhere, dead end job. They steal a truck, but then they run out of gas. So now he's basically pissed off at them and confronts them. Of course, the sister shows up. He's like, "Get away from my family. It's a family matter." And yeah. The father and the grandfather decides to go out and confront his daughter, and it's basically he confronts her, tackles down, and he's like, and she slams his head on the ground. He's like, you're not my daughter. You killed her. You killed your mother. What's with my daughter is not in there anymore. You're just some monster. And like I said, Roland decides to spare their lives by saying, "Hell, I'll take his suit, and don't worry, I can get us back. Just stay close to me." And she's like, "Don't you try anything funny?" And he basically, with the gasoline on the back of the jetpack, you know where this is going. It's like the Rocketeer ending, and it leads to the cliffhanger with them exploding in the air. And next, Gone Daddy Gone. So, there's Rockefeller, which I do appreciate these books because the freaking barcode is not on the front; it's on the back where it belongs. So you don't get to see, or not. So I don't need a virgin cover as long as a freaking barcode's on here. It actually pretty much is a virgin cover, except for the title there, the top there, and you get to see the whole entire full art. This is cover 8 by Francis Manipul. This was $3.99. All right. Number 4 for this week is Ninja Turtles. Saturday Morning Adventures. Another fun series for kids and adults alike. This is for ages 8 and up, I believe. But Casey Jones, Raphael team up to stop against this basically Krampus monster or goat monster. A guy got mutated, turned into a goat, who's basically going to take over and steal from Santa Claus. We also get to see how Casey Jones has a thing. He hates Santa Claus, doesn't trust him because when he was younger, he asked for like this boozy bear, was like a gangster bear for Santa, but then Santa never gave him. And so he hates Santa. It's very over dramatic. Eric Burnham's writing this. We have Dan Schoening on the art. This is basically the dream team that was doing IDW Ghostbusters back in the day. So it's nice to see them on a book together again. Dan Showing does every once in a while do take over the main art on this series, but it's usually I think it's Erica Schultz is the main artist, or Erica, sorry, Sarah Meyer. But of course, I said the gingerbread gang man shows up, the gang, and they start robbing Santa. They take, and it's revealed the guy is like a giant goat monster. And he says how he was his job was working in the zoo. He was cleaning out the cage, knocked over some vials, got the goo on him, which is basically obviously mutagen. Turned him into his ram thing, and so he decided to be. Since I look just like a goat monster named Krampus, I've taken on his mission, and basically it's a lot of humor between Casey Jones not really wanting to help out because he hates Santa Claus, doesn't trust him. He wants his revenge, but. So Casey Jones in this series, I mentioned, he's not that bright of a character. He's kind of dumb. And that was always the cartoon thing. Casey Jones was dumb. But yeah, it's just a lot of hijinks. Basically, they fight out on the middle on the street, and everybody ends up thinking that it's some kind of like a production thing. And they're kind of booing, like, yeah, this would be better than Santa Claus. He's like, are you freaking kidding me? You can also see they did. It's supposed to be they have Meyer, who is the main artist. There is a tribute to her name in the back of the book here in a scene. Overall, I said it's a fun issue with Raphael teaming up with Casey Jones to take on the dude, and at the end, Casey Jones dresses up as Santa Claus, and Michelangelo, or not Michelangelo, but Raphael's an elf, and then and at the very end. He's like, what's this? It's in the box. He's like, he's got a present there. He's like, Santa, it's from Santa. And of course, it's the bear he always wanted. I don't know, Raphael. And the boys got together and got him the present to make him restore his Christmas spirit. So at the end, it's called Here Comes the Neutrino, his daddy-o. That's the next issue. Right here. So I did not pick. There was another Turtles book that came out. It was like a Battle World or Nexus, thing. I flipped through it. I'm just not a fan of it. Who wins in a fight, Batman versus Ninja Turtles? Well, you can go watch the movie. They actually just do a team up, actually. But of course, the running joke is Batman with enough prep time can take down Godzilla if he needed to. But yeah, in a straight up fight, Batman's getting his ass kicked by Ninja Turtles. He might be able to hold his own, but then again, the Turtles hold back. They're not murderers. Now, if it's a Ninja Turtles from the original Kevin Eastman, the black and white one, yeah, Batman's dead. So I don't know. It all depends on what you want. If you're the writer if you want to have the Ninja Turtles win, they'll win. If you want to have Batman win, they'll win. It's one of the smartest things that Stan Lee ever said to a fan. He's because they asked him who would win a battle. He's like, whoever the writer wants to win wins. And the main thing is that if the reader likes it, then the reader wins, and they win too because they sell books. All right, number 3 for this week is issue 5 of the Immortal Batman. And if you have not been paying attention to this is pretty much a common writer version, Elseworlds, of Batman. So I've just been liking this. It's just fun. A younger Batman, younger Bruce Wayne. It was revealed that basically all of these shadow creatures that are from an alternate world have taken on his personality. And they basically are his rogues. We've gone against Poison Ivy, the Riddler, Bane. And now we're getting to Mr. We're gonna have the Joker pop up because we're returning back to Gotham City on his little spaceship here. In this version, also too, it's a very future version of DC Universe. There's no mention of Superman or any other heroes. We finally do get to see Dick Grayson unmasked, and it's revealed it's Tim Drake as Robin. So Also, the advertisement for Mark Waid's book here too. If you not read Year One, Batman Robin Year One, yeah, go check that out. That's a really cool miniseries. Takes place in the Golden Age. All right, so they're heading back to Gotham, and they're confronted by this like Joker gang. Here, and it is pretty much you get to see some straight up action right away. And also get to see the first appearance of Barbara Gordon, who basically is like who ends up saving Batman by shooting one of the Joker guys in the shoulder. And she pretty wants to know where her she needs help locating her father. He's been missing for a while. And she also says, it says like, my name is Barbara Gordon. I'm looking for my father, Jim Gordon. I think Bruce Wayne is involved in his abduction. Wayne hired these guys. I was hoping they could lead me to him, but maybe you could instead. And of course, because it's Bruce Wayne, the real Bruce Wayne is under the mask, and he says, "No, that's not Bruce Wayne. That's a shadow monster that's taken as a form." And so they end up going to Tompkins Island because that's where everything's happening. Tompkins Island, and this guy created like an evil amusement park because we're getting a Joker version of Bruce Wayne. There's his own giant kind of mech suit up there too on the top there. And yeah, like I said, a lot of fun with this, and it's also revealed, that Jim Gordon might be dead because Batman shows up, he wants to know where Jim Gordon is. He's like, oh, I had fun with him like a long time ago. He's like, so I remember Jim Gordon only because I got 2 points for him, probably worth pulling the trigger, but I get it. He was old and slow. I don't want to be awarding points to willy nilly now, But yeah, Batman reveals he's like, dude, I understand. Like, dude, shadows are the purest, most distilled form of evil. But I understand is why you're obsessed with Wayne. And I'm just like, yeah, it's Kyle Higgins tells a really fun story. And if you're not checking this out, maybe because you don't like, I'm not a fan of Common America, or not Common America, but Common Writer, or some of those other stories like that. It actually is pretty fun. So, Batman's has had enough of this shit because James apparently he wants to end this now. He morphs the ship into this giant mech suit. You can only do it once. So now like the ship is now a giant Batman like Gundam thing, which is kind of cool. It's the only natural process this cartoon or comic book can go to. So he's gonna use like his special move, and of course the Joker has his own robot, and they're gonna duke it out. Meanwhile, we got Robin and Nightwing are holding their own against a bunch of Jokers, and they're just doing combo moves. Yeah, they have Flight of Light, that Robin does, and then Night Spin, and they're kind of like throwing puns at each other and stuff. It's like it's like, hey, when are you gonna teach me the movies? Well, and Tim's like, well, if you would have stayed a Robin longer, you would have learned this movie. He's like, well, but he's like, I wouldn't be able to do this then. So just kind of like break into each other, and they're holding on the fort while there's this big old mech suit going over. It's just overall, it's just fun. And so this is the key issue for this. This is basically The Man Who Laughs. First appearance for him, and also first appearance of Barbara Gordon in this Elseworld series. Now, I'm not saying this book is going to blow up and you need to go buy it and otherwise, you'll miss out. But I was going to say this, so it is fun. We even get a first appearance of Red Hood, Jason Todd. But he's not, and actually, no, sorry, it's not Jason Todd. It's actually, I thought it was him at first. But it's actually, this is Tommy Elliott, who originally was Hush. And Hush ends up taking out the Alfred bot, who was trying to basically protect Mr. Bruce. And it's just so, of course, the Joker version of Bruce Wayne gets a hold of the basically Batman's utility belt, which allows him to morph into, well, you can see this is going. Allows him to morph into the Batman. So he wants for himself. Tommy wants the device back. So he ends up basically taking on Tommy, and knocking him and Bruce into the river. And then we also get those two basically do a combo attack, night cannon, and light cannon, they combine their forces. Yeah. The Rider kick. Like I said, I'm not a huge Kamen Rider fan, but I mean, this has just been fun for an Elseworld story. And because we're gonna get this, we already had the Joker, who is a Batman. You know where this is going. We're getting the Batman who laughs. He basically, because he says into the dark and he uses the device. So now we have the Mortal Legend Batman, the Batman who laughs. And it leaves on a cliffhanger. I think there's only one more issue of this. This is issue 5. Usually there's a 6-issue little miniseries. But it's been fun. I've been really enjoying this for an alternate Batman title. That is $4.99. Honestly, I would rather buy this book than buy the main 2 detective or even buying the Matt Fraction one. I have no interest for those. This has just been off the charts, balls to the walls fun.
Yeah, the Fraction one is
Fraction one is basically a fraction of talent.
yes, that's a good way of putting it.
But hey, if you enjoy the Matt Fraction one, more to you. I just look at this way. Hey, I'm not buying the main Batman titles. I'm buying Elseworld titles, and I'm saving money because they're not charging as much.
And
that's the only one.
And here's the thing about this channel is we will sit there and review the stuff. It's what we like and what we can say. Hey, you should check this out. But we aren't sitting there saying this is the best or this is the worst. It's just what we like or what we.
No,
like.
yeah. These are just books.
Information.
This is my comic book call. That's all. It's,
Yeah.
Now, if you want a full review of a lot of titles coming out, I do recommend that you go check out Thinking Critical. And whether you with your degree of politics, whatever, it doesn't make a difference. Everyone has their own opinions and books, but he does do more in-depth reviews of titles. Doesn't really give you spoilers as much as I do, but he'll talk. But he has other people on his channel that like other books that I don't. And then honestly, I like having Jeff on here. What we're doing here, we're not showing you a zoomed in of the comic book. I'm holding up the book. That's what I do. And honestly, somebody saying well, that's kind of amateurish. Like, hey, I'm not trying to be a professional here. But
yeah, and also if you want to learn some really good stuff about the history of stuff, what is her name? Casual Comics.
Casual Comics, yeah, is another
Sasha. She's really good for learning history and stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of good YouTube channels out there.
Yeah,
if you want to, But I'm not gonna say, oh, this is lie to you and say this is a book here. You should be buying this. Top 10 books you should be buying. I don't like those clickbait titles. I'm just gonna show you off my comic book haul. And either you're interested in looking at it, my reviews, or you're not. But Robbie, what's up? He says, if you woke up one day with Deathstroke's physical abilities, would it change your life, and would you still be doing the same things? That is the thing. Deathstroke is able. He has. I think he has some kind of super abilities. At least I know he has a physical peak fitness. He's also missing an eye. Do I have to lose my eye in order to get his abilities, or can I keep my both eyes? And also it's I don't know if I'd be a criminal. Being a criminal in this world with a lot of laser guns and it just, I don't think I'd be able to want to live that lifestyle. It's kind of lonely because you're constantly on the run, having to hide you are, you can't settle down. It's one of the tropes. If you're a villain, if you fall in love with somebody, that person's going to die, especially if you're kids. We saw that with Big Needle in the movie. He had a wife and daughter, and then there's always people who are going to come and don't like who you are and kill your family. So I don't think I'd want to. If I had to, I'd change my lifestyle. It'd be like his, but I don't know. I mean, do I want to be in shape, be muscular, and be able to do acrobatic flips? Sure, and not have a fear of heights. Sure, I'll do that. But I mean, what am I giving up? There's always a catch.
One of your eyes.
But I don't want to give up my eyes. I like being able to see in normal vision. Because then you gotta see if you're missing an eye, you gotta shift everything when you grab things. Otherwise, you're missing constantly. So you gotta move over, and then that's a pain in the ass. But eye patches are cool. I would be a pirate. Number 2 is Green Lantern issue number 30. This is Green Lantern goes to Gotham City basically to confront Batman, and not really confront, but ask him for his help because whatever in the main Green Lantern series, Hal Jordan touched the Book of Oa, and it gave him like some kind of psychic feedback. So now he's getting these visions are causing him pain. He doesn't understand them. He goes to one man, as Bruce points out. You came to the one man who basically would who's not friends with you, who doesn't care about you, that would give you an honest opinion because your friends will lie to you. But I love it because we're getting pretty much an opposite track. Batman, he's like it starts off with these this couple. He's like, oh yeah, you're in the wrong. It's like unfortunate here. He's like, you a bad night for a walk. He's like, I couldn't agree more. Oh shit, it's Batman. He's like, like, oh, we're sorry to meet you. He's like, it's too late. And Batman pretty much beats up the bad guys, and then we get this cool little opening page here with Green Lantern pretty much doing the bat signal of his own. So he's sitting there, he's waiting, he's like, and of course he falls off because Batman scares the shit out of him. He's like, do you really have to make a purpose of scaring and give people heart attacks? he's like, so seriously, you just try and startle people to death. He's like, how can I help you, Hal? And he's like, what I need, and of course, Hal goes, I need some help, but then he has his migraine and falls. Batman ends up saving him, and takes him to the cave, or at least takes him to his car. And one thing we know about Hal likes like test driving things or flying things. So he gets in the car and he's like, ooh, this is rocket powered. And he's like gonna touch things. He's like, don't touch anything, pretty much. And yeah. And of course, they go back, they do run some tests on Hal, and Batman recognizes it because he says, in response to Hal's like, oh, it's just a back computer. He's like, no, this is actually designed with Mr. Terrific and the Atom in mind, and it's going to study your body from all the way down to the very atom cells of your body. And he says there's something interesting. He says, it's like he said. He's like, interesting. And Hal's like, what do you mean interesting? Like, interesting, I had 3 days to live? Or he's like, no, physically you're fine, which is a miracle considering how you take care of yourself. But I'm getting a few trace readings of tachyon particles. Now, if you watch the CW Flash, and I feel bad for you because if you got one past a couple seasons, it's got worse. But tachyon particles were basically what Reverse Flash was using to travel between the Speed Force stuff. So that name's been thrown a lot in DC since then. It says, he's like, so Hal's like, what does this mean? He's like, well, I don't really know what it means. It's just, I know. He's like, what do you mean you don't know what it means? He's like, you're the world's greatest detective, right? And he's like, that's the whole reason I'm here. He said, that's not what you're, and he's basically, Batman says, yeah, we're getting it says, you're not here because but he gets interrupted. But yeah, so he goes in the car, and this, of course, is the scene I hear again. There's something's appearing above, ahead of them. I try to show it here. See a vertical screen here. It's the scene where they're in the car, and yeah, he just tells them touching, and they arrive at this warehouse. Well, and on the dock. This is kind of cool thing I love about when they do Batman technology. So of course, his car is subwoofers, or at least the echo noise, the vibration causes people immense pain. Then they release the smoke, and I love how Hal is like, "Do you really need the smoke? How can you see this?" If he's like, and Batman's like, "Well, that's the idea." He's like, "I can help." He's like, "I don't need your help." He's like, you sure about that? As he almost gets attacked by this giant Joker kind of thing device. And, of course, Hal Jordan uses a giant mallet, knocks and destroys the device. As you see right here. Just as Jeremy Adams writing this is Giudomino Manico doing the art. So you're going to expect the Jeremy Adams kind of like camp humor in here too. It is lighthearted, but it does keep in fact the line that Bruce is very serious. Hal's always been kind of like a more light, he's more lax. And it's revealed that basically they see there's a kid in here. Basically, it turns out this kid has meta abilities. He's alone inside the his parents couldn't afford to take off and also stay with him while they're trying to figure out what's wrong with their kid, and so he's scared. So they end up showing up, in his hospital room here, and Hal Jordan ends up because his kid's scared of the death of Batman, and what kid wouldn't be? Even if I'm healthy, I'm not going near Batman. Scared the crap out of me. So Hal does what he does best and cheers up the kid. Because he realizes the kid's afraid, and he knows one thing about being brave. So he makes fun of Batman. And of course, he gets the kid to laugh, lighten up, and basically he says "Hey, don't worry about this. Take care of you. Let's go on a roller coaster." They're basically convince him that Gotham City isn't a bad place. So Batman comes out and he's like, "Come on, Batman." He's like, He's like Batman in the back of the roller coaster. Yeah.
Making fun of Batman is kind of a brave thing to do, risking his eye.
It's a brave and a bold. It's basically what it says, a brave and a bold team up. And at the end, Hal goes over the line and says, "Don't worry." He says, "I just heard the guy who owns the hospital is going to pick up your medical tab so your parents can come stay with you and while you figure stuff out." He's like, "Really?" "Yeah." And he's like, as the kid's like, "Yeah." And really, he says, "You can order whatever you want from room service." So he's like, "Green Lantern." He's like, and the kid's like, "Oh, thank you. I guess Gotham isn't that bad." It's like, "No, I guess it's not." Batman pretty much pays him a compliment, says, "You're good with the boy." And pretty much, in the one way Bruce basically is brutally honest with him. And he says, "That's because what you wanted me for." He says, "You came here for an honest assessment, Hal. You wanted some truth and someone who doesn't care anything about you." But in Batman, this might be a little bit out of character for Batman, but he says, "But I do care. I've always cared. We both lost our fathers when we were close to that boy's age, and I know you changed me. And what it did, maybe that makes the trauma of being young a little less, scary," as Hal says. Batman's like, "For a long time, I wondered if your bravado and willingness to run into danger were because of your fearlessness or because you just think the worst thing that could happen, to you is that you just end up reuniting with your dad." Which it's kind of like some people do. It's it's just like they have suicidal tendency. They don't care what happens to them, because they'd rather be with the loved one. But he's like, "But that's not true, is it, Hal? You and I are a lot more alike than I care to admit. And you want to keep this world and its kids from having to see and go through like what we did, And pretty much at the end, he says he says, "Hey," Batman says, "the message, the book of Oa planted in your brain wants to come out. But I think somewhere deep inside, you're a little afraid of what it might say." And he says, "I think you shouldn't be, Hal, because you're cocky and brash and leap before you look, but that's saved the universe and the universe more times than I can count." He says, "Whatever it is, you figure it out. You did with, the kid back there, and yeah, so he basically says, good luck with you and come back to us because the world does need you." So, and of course, Flash shows up at the end. He's like, "Hey, I need your help, buddy." Yeah. It's like, Green Lantern, like, Star Sapphire side, you are back on Earth, and I could really use your help. So this is what I was like really waiting for with this issue, because we had a Green Arrow team up in the last issue when we think it goes to Gotham City for Batman team up. Now we're gonna get a team up with the Flash again. For those of you who haven't read the Green Lantern one-shot special that came out last year with Barry Allen and Oliver Queen team up, it was awesome. And Jeremy Adams just knows how to just bring out the best in these characters, the team ups. It's kind of a reason why a lot of us would read the Brave and the Bold back in the day. Some of the stories be kind of like goofy, but we love the team ups. So I need more of these. And Jeremy Adams is the guy to do it. All right, final book of the week is Sisterhood, final issue. Kind of a bittersweet ending for this. For those who have not read this series, it's a spin-off of Hyde Street. This girl, her best friend, they're two friends. They're in a car accident. The one, her Sophie, think her name is. Her mom died. It's Sophie and Violet. I always forget which one's which, their names, but belongs to who. But basically, one of the kids, their mother died, so she became a recluse. The other one decided she wanted to join a sorority, and she ended up drinking too much, and her ribbon got caught in the bottom of the drain of the pool, and she drowned. So the other girl was so distraught, she wandered onto Hyde Street, which, as you wander on Hyde Street, you pretty much are there to be preyed on by those who are trying to steal your soul. And she comes across the sister, who pretty much, is like, hey, I can help you see your friend again. And he's like, you're hurting. So he's like, what? It's like, I can ease your pain. So she does this. This allows her friend basically to come back. They're able to communicate through reflections, but Violet quickly learned that she could take full possession of Sophie's body, murdering several sorority sisters, and now aims to destroy the entire sorority house and those inside it. So right now, that whole sorority house is on fire, and Sophie is just trying to get back her body back. Well, Violet doesn't care, and she just wants to. She's like, I'm just going to murder this girl, and she's right. She's got a knife in her back, and Sophie's back, and despite this, she keeps pushing through it, and she pulls the knife out of her back, and is going to go psycho, and basically going to kill this other girl. And this other girl is like, I had enough of this shit. And of course, Violet, in control of Sophie's body, pushes the girl into the fire and kills her, burns her to death. And Sophie is just like, I'm done with this. I don't want to deal with this crap anymore. You're killing too many people. Give me my body back. And it's just a struggle between the both of them, because while Sophie's stuck inside basically the drowning area where reflection mirrorverse, she's being pulled down by all these demons saying, hey, let's let go. Don't give up. Come with us. And through it all, Violet decides that she wants to basically, keep murdering people. And Sophie says, I basically had enough of this. And she's like, it's my body. You've been murdering people. I'm going to stop you no matter what. And this, of course, will the other have the inner conflict. This allows the other girl to basically get her escape, and then they end up on the roof, and it's just nonstop kind of like action here. Now this is Layla Lee's doing the art, and Maytel is Shoot doing the writing. She was the writer in this was also a writer on Stargirl, the series for CW, which I do recommend if you've not checked that out. Jeff Johns vetted this woman, and now she's writing a story for Ghost Machine, and it's just straight up like craziness. So, Sophie is able to get her body back from Violet. They jump in the water, the pool, same pool where, her friend died, and the same thing's happening. The ribbon, her scarf gets caught in the drain. That's how her friend died. And it looks like that's all over. They're just going to kill. Sophie is ready to kill Violet in order to stop this. And you see them kind of having a falling out here, kind of fighting, struggling. And it seems like she's going to die. She's able to get her scarf pretty much untangled. And someone pulls her body out of the pool. See here. Comes out, the rim comes off. Someone's pulling it off. He's like, what's going on? He's like, Violet, is that you? Turns out it was actually the other girl. The main villain, the one who killed her friend, best friend, caused her friend to die, and blames on her. So she basically, with Violet now seemingly gone, Sophie's now basically going to be arrested for murder, and she's going to be locked up. So one day, though, she gets a visitor. And she's like, it can't be. It's you. And it's the girl who basically resuscitated her. He's like, oh. She's like, Karma? Is that you? And she finds out it's not Karma. So when Karma basically put her lips against her to basically give her CPR, Violet jumped into Karma's body. So now Violet is possessing Karma. Is control of her. And basically says, don't worry, I'll visit you on your birthdays and hear stuff, but thanks you for that, giving me a chance to basically stay alive. And so he's like, and it's such a horrific ending, because now Violet's free to go as she pleases. She says, I'm in charge of the sorority. I don't care for Karma's mother, but I can deal with it. She got what she wants, and and now, of course, poor Sophie is now stuck in jail for the rest of her life for the murder she did. And it just ends it with this. It's like it's such a wow ending for this book. So this was $3.99 for issue 5 and 5-issue miniseries. I do recommend this series. It is just awesome. All the High Street stuff have been good. Even Devour, which is another spinoff, really cool. Yeah, right. I do have some back issues though. I'm gonna show off real quick. All right. So, all right. I picked up the Raiders of the Lost Ark little trade. So, looking forward to reading that. Then I came across these. These are the old Marvel Illustrated books. So looking forward to flipping through these. Here is Fantastic Four, featuring the Peerless Power, the Silver Surfer. The Marvel Illustrated books. All right. Of course, the Hulk here. Stan Lee presents Incredible Hulk. And his first full-length novel, Stalker from the Stars, a novel by Len Wein, Marv Wolfman, and Joseph Silva. Introduction by Stan Lee. So that's kind of cool. It's a Hulk story without the pictures, obviously. But it's something that if you only collect the comic books, that's a Hulk story you haven't read yet. All right. What we got going here? The chat. Counterpoint, eye patches are cool. One would think Bruce would lower his loner routine while around the Justice League and the Bat Family for years. It's one of the reasons there's two different versions of Batman. There's Batman with the Justice League, and there's Batman, just Batman. And DC's been keeping them separate. And that's one of the reasons why I don't like Batman on the Justice League. Batman should just never be in the Justice League. You know, it doesn't really work, those two personalities. If he's going to be a loner, and then here's the other thing. The Bat Family, there's 20 members now, I think. It's a rough estimate for me, but I don't like that either. So we got some Archie books right here. Archie number 602. Archie marries Veronica. It's twins. Part 3 of 6. I'm going to start looking for these. Start collecting these now. We have Archie 421. A lot of Christmas Archies I was going through. I was collecting these. So, all right. Merry Christmas, Archie. Archie number 444. Here, it's Archie number 518. And then, of course, we got Archie Christmas Special number 1. This is part of the all-new story in there. Official comic book of Christmas. This is a more recent one. This is from 2022, $2.99. And this is also another version. I'm not sure if it's the same book. Look, Christmas Spectacular number 1. More modern. Then we have Archie and Friends number 101. And a new Katie Keene story. Not sure who the girls are on there, but then I have Archie 55 by Mark Waid, issue 1. Archie number 2 in 1955. And it's Waid, and Brian Augustine on there. Here's number 3. I was not able to get the. I think there's 2 more. Yeah. I'll have to look for those. Archie Holiday Magic Special number 1. A lot of more modern Archie for me. Then we're getting some older stuff. Archie's TV Laugh Out, featuring Sabrina Teenage Witch, and hey, what's the Fonz god that I don't have? All our girls, Archie. All our girls. So that is issue number 47. Betty and Veronica, number 150. If you watch I Love Comics, this is one of the things one of the things he likes is the Snow Queen stuff. Does the Snow Winter stuff. He's a big fan of that stuff too. Mark Waid, so excited. You know what though? I don't care for Mark Waid as a person, but his writing speaks volumes of just like how amazing of a writer he is. He is a good writer.
Yeah, that kind of gets me. That kind of gets a duality thing in me. The guy's well, we won't get into that, but his writing is good.
Yeah, and I believe Mark Waid, even before, I mean, Trump is a lot of people got TDS or affected or whatever, but I think Mark Waid was always that kind of person, even before Trump. You know?
Yeah.
But here's the thing: you just didn't know about it because back in the day, no one was on social media talking. Yeah, so it's one of the reasons I don't like social media. Like if I own a comic book store, Marvel, DC, you are not online promoting. You can promote your books, but you're not going on there and getting political. It's not the platform. Just like I don't want to hear from celebrities. I don't hear your opinion. I don't want to hear from the comic book writers because you're there to sell the book. And of course, by going political, you divide the readers. And sometimes
that's not smart anyway because you're risking pissing off half of your readers either way.
Yeah. You know? And I don't know. No. If you're a very activist, very political stuff, you might disagree with me, but I just would rather I don't care what your opinions are on politics. Don't give them to me. Just go vote.
Yep. That's exactly.
And then, of course, I picked up this one from 1969.
That's an exceptional year for things coming out.
Yeah.
That'd be the year I came out, by the way, just in case you missed it.
Yeah. That's the year you came out. Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, as soon as I said that maybe not. Maybe I should have rephrased it.
I found this trade. This is an older trade. This was like from 1991, 93. The greatest Flash stories ever told. There's a wrap on cover. Hardcover here, and it has introduction by Mike Gold. You can tell it's old because it is yellow. The inside in this paper. So this has forward by Carmine Infantino, introduction by Mike Gold, and it has Flash Comics number 1 with the Jay Garrick, the fastest man alive, 1940. Then it has the Flash and Black Widow. This is Flash Comics number 66, 1945. We have Flash Comics 86 from 1947 with Joe Kubert on there. Slow Motion Crimes, which is from Comic Cavalcade number 24 from 1947. Mystery of the Human Thunderbolt, showcase number 4 from 1956. And then we have Flash 107 from 1959, Return of Super Gorilla, Danger in the Air, The Flash 113 from 1960 with John Broome and Carmine Infantino. The Mirror Master's Magic Bullet from The Flash 119 from 1961. Space Boomerang Trap, which is Flash 124 from 1961. Then we have 125 from The Flash, 137. These are all from the 60s. False Green Lanterns, Flash 143. The Doorway to Unknown, 148. 179. Factor Fiction. Then they have the How to Prevent a Flash, 5-star superhero spectacular from 1977. End of the Flash, which is basically doesn't say what that's from, but Hearts of Stone, which is in Flash number 2 from 1987 with Mike Barron, and that's kind of it. That's the forward in there, and that's so it goes up to Mike Barron's run with Wally West, right around there. It's just Jay Garrick and Barry Allen. And a little bit of story with and of course it was Kid Flash at the time, so Wally wasn't Flash. It ends with Wally, the Mike Barron story. But overall, I got this like 20% off. This was originally $30 back in when it came brand new, so I got a good deal on this. So I was really excited to see that. All right, and then Stuff I got from I Love Comics is actually which does every Saturday night around I want to say 8 p.m. Eastern or 8:30 around there. DC Adventures, Adventures of the DC Universe, number 18. I love these because I love the animated universe more than I do like the main comic books storyline. But I do recommend if you want to get the best of the DC comic books, read from the 90s. From the 86, the John Byrne universe, all stuff. It is awesome. It's number 16. Green Lantern, Green Arrow, Drug War, then now. So. All right. And then we also have number 11. Adventure in the DC universe. So if the Wonder Woman becomes a Green Lantern, obviously looks. I love this. And then we have some Jonah Hex here. Pretty decent issue. This is Weird Western Tales, number 37, number 33. Feature Jonah Hex. I love a lot of Jonah Hex stuff. It's really good. Makes me think that Zuko and Avatar, The Last Airbender, when he finally joins the main team, he just ends up accidentally having life-changing adventures with one of each character, except for Toph. Never watched it, but yeah, sounds interesting. We have Jonah Hex number 3, which I've been just filling in my gaps in my run here. And of course, this is from Henry. Henry's usually a regular over on I Love Comics, the cover ranking stuff. This is a Christmas present to him, or at least a present he sent to me. And he got it for me, and yeah, because I've never read it before. So this is J. DeMatteis and Mike Zex, the original Craven's Hunt collected. So
yeah, I was getting those things in the floppies, and I don't have those anymore. So I got the Epic.
Yeah, I never read this before. It's one of those things where people are like, "Oh my gosh, you got to read this! Got to read this!" I'm like, well, I already know what happens in the book. What I don't need to read it. Everyone spoiled it by now, you know.
Okay, I was going to ask if you remember how it ended.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. It's like I may have read it a long time ago, or it's the events. So, but I guess there's I always like on the back of the book because sometimes they tell you like the creation behind the book or a writer. So you get this setting this after you get an afterword in this. So that's kind of cool. Just telling you about working on the book and who, what, why, and and just overall in general. So I love that information. And of course, the creators. I love that. J. DeMatteis in the back here.
Boy, those things are dated. Those pictures. Oh,
yeah.
My yearbook pictures.
Yep. Bob McCloud, Mike Zeck, and J. DeMatteis. So
man, that guy on the top looks like he did some wow movies.
Yeah. So all right, Jeff, I'll let you go. That's in my books, and I have to leave and have to get going soon.
Yeah, I've got.
I'm gonna.
Wednesday, but it's gonna be over in a little bit. All right, so I have 11, and actually I bought. You may or may not have heard me speaking about how much I hate speculators and what they're doing to the industry. I think it's going to make it into the big crash like they did in the 90s.
The artificial inflation?
Yes. Sort of like the cover things they did with the image stuff back in the 90s. I think and so I talk a bunch of smack about that. But then every once in a while I fall prey. Today I just did. Wednesday I just did that. I bought 2 copies of Absolute Wonder Woman number 15 because that is the crossover with the Absolute Batman. And I should be saying Bad Boy, but I didn't read them. They're just in the bag, so I'm going to put them away and maybe try and get some.
Read them today. You got nothing else to do.
Yeah.
I mean, unless there's a Steeler game on today, I don't think there's any.
No, I have to go over to my cousin's house, then I have to go over to my sister's house and hang out with my mother and sister and everyone else. But just spent a couple of hours on last night at Midnight Mass. And
yeah, I knew this was going to take a little while for me to get through my book because I had so many back issues.
Yeah, I have a whole bunch of back issues, but I can't show them to you because that would just get us banned. But
well, there's also laws too.
Yes. Okay, number 11, Creep Show issue 4. This is volume 4, number 4. It wasn't bad. There's 2 stories in each one, and the first one is they created some new trucks, or like the semi trucks you see on the road that deliver all the food.
There's supposed to be a lot better writers on this issue than I noticed in previous ones.
Yeah, and this is one about a guy. What they're trying to do is they made a thing where they connect the person to the truck and they become the truck for 12 hours. But then this guy's
wait, you become Optimus Prime?
You'd think, but no. Like he becomes like one of the tires or something. So if the tire runs over glass, he gets out on the glass.
That's like nightmare fuel.
No, yeah, and it's kind of a really twisted story. It was interesting, great concept. It was fairly well executed, but not exceptionally well executed. But then it turns out there's a girl that he meets who's involved with it, and there's a little twist.
Oh yeah, now I know why you don't like it, because this one had Cena Grace on it. One of the writers.
No, I mean it was good, but it was just it could have been better.
Yeah,
but
maybe I was thinking of a different book. Maybe I'm thinking of Hello Darkness had the better writers.
Yeah, I stopped writing Hello Darkness after about like 3 or 4, maybe a couple issues.
And unfortunately, that actually had a better writing team on the last issue. Yeah. But hey, right. I've never read Saladin Ahmed before, or Ahmed, whatever it is, but I read him on the Justice League Red, and he's like better than he's been in his other books.
Well, I guess it does depend on maybe the editors saying, "Hey, rein that shit in." Maybe.
Which more? I mean, actually, Res, what an editor?
I don't know. I'm just saying, like you see certain books where the people they don't go as hog wild on stuff, and you might figure someone might be going, "Hey, knock that off. Just keep the story and keep it tight." But okay, number 10 would be Flow number 4, which I would have thought was going to be the last one, but there is one more. You're finding more about what happened to the little girl and what after the prank and all the stuff and who was involved, and the back and forth between the past and the present. And the next issue is going to be the final. And it's probably going on 1 issue too long. Number 9, which I wasn't sure. I don't remember if you were getting this or not. Justice League Unlimited.
I passed on it because I'm just waiting till after all the events are done.
Yeah.
After they did what they did in my Power Girl in the last issue, tearing her apart like Sentry, I was like, I'm done with this.
Yeah. Hey, I always keep Power Girl around. She could be useful for something, if not just eye candy.
She's a Kryptonian, and she was torn in half by a demon.
Yeah.
Basically.
Well, it is magic, but number 8, Green Lantern versus the Flash, Guy Gardner taking on Jay Garrick.
Mark Waid taking over the Flash book for that issue.
Yes.
So it means you actually got a decent story.
Yeah, Guy Gardner was being Guy Gardner.
But like I said, I'm not a fan of the KO because it's hero versus hero, and I'm like, I don't care for Fortnite.
Yeah. Hey, tell you what, Guy Gardner, 0 ZFGs, man. I'm telling you. None.
That's the thing too. With Guy Gardner, you get people, and luckily Mark Waid understands the character. There's a lot of people who write Guy Gardner and don't know anything other than he's an asshole. That's it.
But he's just like, man, and he gave it right. I mean, he did it pretty good. He was just I don't know if this is the one where he was using his construct to give himself a bowl cut. I think that may have been this one or one of the other ones.
I don't know.
But it's actually pretty funny. This was not bad.
Oh, I flipped through that.
What did you think of it? It was
Well, there's one thing I had to do in order to make the book actually believable. He kills the Joker. Don takes out the Joker.
Yeah.
And the only problem with this, I already had this showdown and 3 Jokers. Batman 3 Jokers with Jeff Johns and Jason Fabek.
Yeah.
And where he actually shoots Joker in the head and kills him. At least one of the Jokers.
Yeah.
But this was just like not needed. We've already done. We've had this before. It was pointless to me. Now, some people might like the art, but I'm thinking like, I did like what he did to Joker, turning him into a giant like a monster, injecting him. But of course, he falls in the vat of acid and he dies. But then the round 2, it's Jason Todd as Robin, and versus like they go to the throwback, you know, with the bomb, everything. So it had some decent art, but
see, the reason I got this one was it was just I had accidentally picked. I had I think it was the Justice League Unlimited. Somehow I got 2 copies of that, and we didn't. Neither one of us caught that I had 2 copies.
Yeah.
And I didn't want 2 copies, so I said, "Can I just switch one out?" So I did that.
Yeah.
And
hey, Christmas, Marania.
Hey, Merry Christmas.
So basically, Arkham Asylum Joker again. He was like mutated. It was like the growth serum they had to make him like a super Joker.
This sort of reminds me what they did with the Absolute Joker.
But here's the thing though. I realize in KO they're taking different reality versions of these characters. You're gonna get the Arkhamverse. You're gonna get the Fortnite version probably eventually in this. It's a battle royale. Like I said, it is Fortnite. Imagine you're playing as a Joker and somebody has the 3 other variant Jokers, and then you're all facing against each other, and it's just if you like that, it's nonsense to me. But I don't know.
That would be kind of neat to see. It's Joker versus Joker, the different Joker.
Yes. Could they coexist? At the end, they probably kill each other.
No, I mean I have them going against each other.
Can you imagine 2 Two-Faces? Batman just flips. They have to flip a coin, and then they get the coins mixed up. Salted caramels, a computer mouse, and a mini Panette or Payatone cake.
Okay, number 6. Voyeur. Story's not going where you thought it would be going.
You mean it's not smut?
No, but there's
Lee Williams. I'm just shocked. I expect better
there
from her.
Is some, I guess, there is some in there, but there is a overarching story to it.
It's better than Artificial, where this girl thinks she's gonna fuck this sex robot, and it turns out becoming like Skynet once, and just obsessed with her.
I don't remember seeing that one.
I was like, hey, that's the main plot. I was like, who wants this book?
Hey, tell you what though, man, if I want my artificial robots, I want my Skynet to kill me.
That's like you know what it reminded me of? Because the whole plot of Artificial is that her boyfriend doesn't pay. She complains to her girlfriends. He doesn't love me. He doesn't pay attention to me enough, and stuff. Doesn't. And they make him look like I'm like a dweeb and stuff. But it turns out he's actually low to her. He's actually a nice guy. But so she decides she wants more spice up. So she tries out the new dating app with the robot android. But the android becomes very self-obsessed with her. And it reminds me of, remember the question, the dumb thing was like, would you choose the bear in the woods or the guy? And the girls are like, oh, it's always safer the bear in the woods. Well, this book, you're not safer with the bear. The bear's going to kill you. You're not
safer with the bear at any time.
I know. So that's what I saw.
Ignorance
yeah. So when I saw that book, I was like, this is literally do you choose the bear in the woods or the man? I'd choose the man because the man would kill the bear and then he'd give you the bear the rug.
Okay, number 5, Detective Comics 1104
with Tom Killer, right?
Yeah, and it's the part 4 of the absence of fear thing, and it's
Absence of good writing too.
Yeah, I mean, it's Tom Taylor being full of Tom Taylor, and it's what we were saying
Tom,
earlier.
and I'll just say that Tom Taylor on Elseworlds is better.
Exactly, that's what I always say. You get him outside of continuity, and where he's not full of himself, he does great.
DC
continuity
good because it was Elseworlds. He did Deceased. That's Tom Taylor.
Yeah,
I love that.
That stuff is fantastic. And
Injustice, great.
Once you get him inside, and he's gotten kind of full of himself a little bit, sort of like Frank Miller. And two, he's doing the other thing where he's writing for the trades as opposed to,
of course,
good story. So, number 4, Final Boss. Number 2, or is this 3? Yeah. Really good book. So the guy.
So it's The Rock, right? Final Boss.
Yes. That's their version of The Rock.
It's Cody Rhodes, The Rock, and John Cena. Finish the story.
Yes, but basically it's him. He's got this power. You know, he beat the guy in the last issue, and now there's his grandfather got this thing and it passed down to him. His father's missing, and he gets invited to this island that's way out in the middle of the.
Oh my gosh, best of the best.
Yes, kind of a best of the best, but there's like ultra powered people, and you're going to fight to the death, and you
it's
win.
A tournament.
Like and I sort of have a feeling that his father might be the guy behind it all.
Yeah,
who knows?
I want to watch it again. Best of the best. That's a good movie.
Eric Roberts, baby.
Yep.
Number 3. Eric Roberts is by far the better, the most talented of the Roberts clan, by the way.
Eric Roberts in Best of the Best, or Jean-Claude Van Damme in Bloodsport?
Well, they're both hams, but
I mean, I'd choose Bloodsport. Kickboxer, I'd probably be on par with Best of the Best for me.
Yeah.
Oh, Gray Lady. I passed it up. But
it's a good,
nice little ghost story.
Yeah, good story.
I want my rosebud.
Great art. My only issue is that with this.
It's one shot.
Is that it was, you know how I was just complaining about how they draw some of these things out too much.
Yeah.
This one, it could have gone 2 issues. You needed a little bit more information on there.
I would have loved there to be an ongoing series and have a story of the week like that.
Yes, but or maybe just have this needed. I can see what they're trying. They wanted to do it in 1 issue, so they needed to get the story in.
Yeah.
But so they could have had a little bit more in there to flesh it out and just made it 2 issues, which I would have been fine with.
Mm-hmm.
But this one was just, it was great. And the art was fantastic.
How much did you pay for it?
Oh,
$3.99, $4.
$5.99. Yeah, I didn't mind, but
does your shop give you like a discount?
No.
Oh, so you're paying full price.
Considering the amount of times
I get a 20% discount in my main shop, so they're about to start getting their books back in. So I was like, sweet. This $10 book is now $8.
Considering the amount of time I've been shopping there longer than most, about half to 3/4 of the people who work there have been alive. You'd think I should get, and I know the owner personally. It's like, dude, you should give me a discount.
Yeah, the sister took over for the brother who passed away, so they're running the shop.
Is it Sister ER or AH?
No, not sister as in nun, but in sister.
No, sisters in blood relatives or sisters in AH.
I don't know. I don't know what
sister.
AH. Oh, that.
Yeah. I really like this book, and I was debating on which one it was going to go number 2 or 1. I really did enjoy. I laughed at it. My only problem, and this is minor, it seemed like Batman was
out of character a little bit.
A little bit out of character because he's just like, shut up, and there's some humorous to it. And this
I told Breen that don't think that this is going to be the same as the Batman's always been, because they've retconned since then a lot of stuff, especially Green Lantern's been retconned and through running. I think it was a New 52 or Rebirth. So yeah. Although it fit, this felt more like a Justice League Unlimited Batman cartoon version versus the main Batman, who is very, very antisocial. Yeah, grim.
Yeah, and it's just I did like it. I mean, there were some really funny parts to it. I did like it, but his setup or his being
Do you remember Just Like Darkseid War, the animated movie where basically they first meet and then he's like, "Oh, neat ring." He pulls a ring off him. He's like, "Oh," runs on like thought in the wave, and he's like concentration. It's like, "Hey, how'd you do that?" That's pretty much that was the same humor I got, and I appreciate that.
I did sort of like that because wait, you have your own satellite?
Yeah.
What says you drink true blood? I'm not a vampire. And number one, Sisterhood. Great book. Hyde Street is going to be in my top 5 of the year series books. And you were right. This is a very good book. I love the twist at the end. High Street and Devour, and this is just. I think this is the best of the Ghost Machine books, and that's saying something.
Well, here's the thing, though. That's the first character to leave Hyde Street.
What, the Sisterhood?
Remember Sisterhoods? Those girls went to Hyde. Violet or Sophie went to Hyde Street, and then she left. They're not stuck on Hyde Street,
right?
Where all the other victims are usually are trapped there, or killed, whatever. Yeah. And so it was interesting to see that she survived, but she's stuck in prison for the rest of her life.
But it's
a Twilight Zone.
It still does have an effect on him, though. You're going to get fucked either way.
It is very much a Twilight Zone ending.
Yes.
All right.
And I like twist endings as long as they're good like this. This was a good twist ending.
All right. Do you have any more books at all?
Nope, I do not.
All right, then. And I'll throw us back up on there. All right. So that's what we had for this week's books. Joining for Mia. Thank you for joining me, Geeky, and everyone else who is watching. Might just do some more vertical layout live streams like this, or just for like the live streams like this part. The comic books, probably not as much. We do the comic book reading, but when we're showing off our top 5, which is on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m., and normally on Thursday nights we do what we just did this, but it's usually around 9 p.m. Eastern as well. So Tuesday and Thursdays 9 p.m. Eastern for our comic book hauls and just talking about comic books. And then Friday through Monday, we do comic book readings. And then Monday night, I also upload. I have another crew I read with. We do manga books and just read those. So we've had Ranma, One Half, Inuyasha. We just did our second volume of Full Metal Panic. We did Sergeant Frog. And we're looking at maybe doing a couple of chapters of Dan and possibly Spy X Family. So if you haven't subscribed, please do that right now. Maria says, I like the vertical for the best of, since you're just showing the books. Yes, exactly. But here's the thing, though. I noticed that the mobile stuff is being pushed like this, so I might keep it for the reading tomorrow on 8 p.m. Eastern. So I might have a vertical layout just like this too. We're gonna have both. We're gonna have the normal horizontal, which is normal one, you can watch your phone or your PC, or the vertical, which is only works best on your phone. And because honestly, the vertical gets shared out more for some reason, and I'd rather be able to get more people coming in and enjoying content we do here, or just giving a chance to see it. 'Cause it seems like YouTube's kind of like not sharing out the longer format videos they normally do. So I mean, it just feels it's just kind of unfair for people who do long form videos versus the mobile shorts. If you notice, my mobile shorts have got over like 2,000 views compared to the normal videos are getting like 50, 40. Because started back in May, all of a sudden we had like no views. So all right though. Talking about the bear. It's like Marty says, I choose the man. He can kill the bear, butcher the meat, give me a fur coat, hat, and furry boots and gloves from the fur. Yes. Now you're hoping that the man will actually give you all that stuff and not just be greedy. And Austin's like, you better hope that the bear isn't territorial, malnourished, or a mother with her cubs. Sometimes you and the bear can just walk by each other when the bear isn't in those situations. Yeah, great. But that's it. Merry Christmas to everyone. I hope that you guys had some really cool gifts. I'm going to be going over by my sisters and hanging out. Like I said, once again, thank you for everyone who showed up here on the Christmas day. Didn't expect anybody to be in the chat because it's Christmas.
Yeah, don't you people have anything better to do, like lives or something?
Right. Why are you here?
It's like at the end of Ferris Bueller. Look, go home.
Yeah. Then there's Mahler, who posts a successful 17-hour review of Star Wars Outlaws and is succeeding. He is very loyal fans. That's the thing. I pointed out, I'm not a professional YouTube streamer. Never really went into this for the money or the views. I'm amazed that we even got monetized. It took us 5 years. We just drew a lot of comic book reading on here and just hanging out with friends. That's all it is. It's just an outlet. That's all, just to have fun and share stuff. So I do thank you for those people who have been loyal and just been here for the past 5 years and just been watching and supporting us. And it's really cool. Getting the chance to meet new people, like Geeky, and then get stuck with him for that. Yes. Thanks, Joe. That was a great Christmas present. But thank you for everyone who's been here with the channel and who's been watching, and we'll see you tomorrow around 8 p.m. Eastern for a comic book reading. I'm not sure what we're gonna doing, but
one right now, I gotta go do some visiting.
I know. I'm going to get some food,
and
hopefully the weather stays nice. It is crisp 35 degrees outside with chances of rain.
It's -2 right here, and I have to go outside and warm up my car.
I'm gonna go warm my car up too. My car's a little cold and it's wet. So
bite me.
Hey, next week I'm going back to your weather. I don't want it.
I'll trade you. The 35 sounds fantastic right now.
35 is a heat wave, man.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's shorts weather. Did the visiting and the eating already. All right, then. Well, that's it. Yeah, Marania, 75 degrees there. You know what you could do with that 75 degrees, right? Turn that son of a bitch sideways. Straight up your candy ass, as the Rock would say. All right. But yeah, that's it. Stay safe and drive safe if you're traveling. If you don't have to, stay indoors and just spend time with loved ones. Or watch movies, whatever you prefer. You know?
I already did my Christmas movie.
Just don't drink and fall asleep with a cigarette in your mouth. For those that are into that hobby of doing the eggnog and do stuff. If you have any loved ones that are smokers, make sure they don't fall asleep with the cigarette. Anyway. All right. Later, guys.
Later. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.